defense.
Here's Swanigan, better than 18 points, 12 rebounds per game. Kicks it out, Matthias. Wide left on the three, running it down, Tum Nairn. Bridges will launch. And missed the three and down with the rebound to Matthias. So the first 3 attempts of the game all have been from beyond the arc. Looking inside again, Swanigan. Nairn got in there and took it away from him. And then threw it away. It's very early, but a lot of people looking at this as kind of a bubble team right now.
You know, the old Yogi Berra line is getting late early. They only have 3 more teams that are in the top 25 after this one, so they need to win desperately against a big-time team.
Vince Edwards again, the ball inside to Swanigan, and he'll finish.
Hey, he went around, through, and back down a very big man in Nick Ward. First 2 times, I thought Swanigan settled. Ward pushed him off the block, not the 3rd time. He dominated.
Dan, both coaches talked at shoot-around today about having to keep their big guys out of foul trouble, needing to keep Swanigan and Ward in the game. Ward handles the double team. The least heralded member of the Michigan State freshman class has been terrific this year for Tom Izzo.
Well, he is outstanding because he knows who he is, Dan. He knows he's a block player. There's nothing other than a block player.
Swanigan can do this. He's got 19 threes in 39 attempts now. Just a hair under 50% on the season.
Dan, Purdue people were so frustrated with him last year. In fact, Matt Painter benched him last 10 minutes of the NCAA tournament. It was over decisions. Well, he's improved that, and he's improved his shooting. 47% from the three-point line.
He's got the green light. Baseline jumper around and out for Joshua Langford. Matthias inside of Vince Edwards. Around Bridges, up, off the rim. And out of bounds to the Spartans.
Well, their big lead against Cincinnati blew it, and then Arkansas Little Rock beat them down the stretch as well last 2 years in the tournament. One thing Matt Painter's done, and Purdue fans appreciate, he's kind of taken under-recruited guys. It's a Gene Cady model. Under-recruited guys, developed them like P.J. Thompson, Matthias, added a star in Swanigan, and has a really, really good basketball team.
Danny Goins has checked in for Nick Ward for Michigan State. That's him with a long jumper right there. The rebound down to Matthias. Touch pass back to P.J. Thompson. Great offensive rebound. Edwards has it rejected. Swanigan getting booed every time he touches the ball here by the Izzo. Double team, pass deflected. Michigan State ball. Nairn. Bridges there to clean it up. Boy, a really energetic start to this game here tonight. Spartans with an early 2-point lead. Swanigan, elbow turnaround short.
I'll tell you what, if you're Michigan State, Dan, you'll take him shooting that shot all night long. He was just tired and wanted to get a shot up.
And with Ward out and Goins in, Swanigan's got a pretty significant size advantage on the guy covering him right now. Harris off a screen.
Oh, man. A great screen on the baseline. That's a Tom Izzo staple. Wings cross, bigs pinned down. Usually doesn't work that easy, but a fantastic screen slash run into the defender by Michigan State.
Harris 21 Saturday in the loss in Bloomington, 5 early points tonight. Edwards kicks it out. Carson Edwards, the freshman, no relation to Vince Edwards, knocks down the three.
Dan, that kid is fearless. He's bow-legged, and he is fearless. I mean, when he got moved in the starting lineup, it's one of those deals where it wasn't just to hang in there and keep his job. Carson Edwards was in there to be a star.
6-foot freshman out of Atascocita, Texas. Bridges with a three, and Michigan State back up by 4.
First three Bridges shot, Izzo called him over and yelled at him. Then Bridges ran the floor and got a bucket. And I think Izzo yelling at him kind of woke him up to do something else so that when you got a three, you're ready to go.
Ball sticking a little bit right now offensively for Purdue. Edwards again, a little bit too strong. P.J. Thompson the rebound. Edwards again, got it.
Freshman in the his zone. First time, looks like he's been here for 10 years. Wow. And then Danny made the shot, didn't change expression. Just went back down and started guarding.
Confident kid, you see him at shoot around, the way he interacts with his teammates and the coaches. A real spark and a barometer for Purdue. When he scores in double figures, they're 10-0 this year. Langford trying to shake him to this end of the court. Shot clock at 5. Nairn, Goins, Langford, got it! Man, whistles optional for the officials so far here tonight. Up and down they're going here at the Breslin Center. There has not been a foul in this game that he could play the 4, that he wouldn't play the center. Obviously thinking about his future as a pro to a certain extent. He goes to Purdue, not a one-and-done player, much better player this year as a sophomore than he was as a freshman, as you talked about. One of the ironies is Hammonds is now gone, of course, used up his eligibility. And now, for the most part, Haas and Swanigan aren't out there together, although they are right now. So Swanigan is actually playing a lot of the 5 right now. And we've got a foul going against Michigan State. Swanigan is not a nobody.
Right, right. And it has not affected him even a little bit to this point thus far. Look at this.
There's Haas inside, and he's fouled by Ward.
3 perimeter guys moving around, and you're able to do it with Swanigan because he can shoot the ball.
Haas 7'2", 290. Swanigan 6'9", 250. Bridges down with a rebound in traffic.
Yeah, that was pretty good by Bridges. Even though Swanigan was able to get into the middle of the floor, he did not allow Swanigan to get past him.
Ward now guarded by Haas. Long jump hook, not there. Swanigan the rebound. Purdue looking to push. Carson Edwards steps through and scores.
Hey, this is zone. Better start yelling at Carson Edwards because he's killing everybody in the building.
He's got more than half of Purdue's points as the Boilermakers have come back to tie it up. Cassius Winston now in off the bench at the point for Michigan State. Matt McQuaid with the ball is checked in as well. Alvin Ellis in the game. Boy, they would love McQuaid to knock down some shots. Has struggled shooting the ball this year compared to his freshman season. Shot clock a factor. Ward to his strong side, can't get it to go.
Danny, I'm telling you, nobody scores over Haas. Like Ethan Happ, who may be the best low post guy not named Swanigan in the Big Ten, was rolling against Purdue. Haas came in, he couldn't get anything done. Ward can usually get a good look, get it inside the basket, hasn't here.
Edwards really not shy tonight, misses that jumper. Ellis, who's had some big games for Michigan State, kicks it off to Bridges, who buries it. Ellis also looked like he might have gotten poked in the eye as he was making the pass, but he's all right.
Well, if I'm Ellis, I'm not acting hurt because he's going to get a chance to play in this game. He can shoot the ball. You saw there, straight cut, found the next guy.
Ryan Klein with the ball for Purdue, one of the many good outside shooters that Matt Painter has. Haas kicks it out. Edwards drives it, and he's into double figures already.
So smart by Painter. Who's the hot guy? Edwards. You put him on the same side as your best low post guy.
Ellis. Around and out, yet another rebound for Swanigan, who leads the nation at 12.5 per game. Got 5 already tonight. Thompson. And we got a foul away from the ball going against Purdue. Little dribble handoff to Dakota Mathias, and then right down on the block, as Coach Dockich says. They get the ball inside to him, and once he's in that low, pretty much money, huh?
He's just deaf down there, and I hate mascots. Always have.
Yeah, but that's the wrong one to mess with.
I know, right?
I mean, he's ripped. Like, go fight the tree out at Stanford or something. Don't mess with the Spartan. Nick Ward.
Hey, that's pretty good by Ward. Ward not intimidated, just got lower. You know what? You're playing against a bigger guy. Get lower so you have better balance and better spring. He just dominated Haas right there.
Edwards, wild shot off the glass. Ellis down with a rebound. Swanigan on the bench right now for Purdue. Haas, the big man in the middle. Numbers now for Michigan State on the broken play. Ellis. An air ball and a foul underneath going against the Spartans. It'll be on Ward as he battled for position with Haas. Hey, how big is this? Second on Ward. This was Tom Izzo's biggest concern coming into the game.
Now you got to figure something else out. And what you need to think about is Bridges on the block.
Haas called for the travel, trying to spin around going. And now he'll have to handle Swanigan as Haas has gone to the bench.
I'm sorry, Dan, but the reason he's in there, you have two guys sitting at the end of the bench. Carter transferred from Nevada, and you've got Gavin Schilling, who's a starter, both out for the season. So you're left with really two guys inside, Ward and now Goins.
Harris did not reestablish himself inbounds before he touched the ball again, so wave it off. Purdue basketball. You make a great point. There they are there. Carter on the left, Schilling on the right. They also thought they probably would have Deontay Davis back this year. He decides to go pro. So this is the smallest Michigan State team Tom Izzo's had in many, many years. Swanigan getting booed every time he touches the ball. Doesn't seem to bother him one bit.
Yeah, a little tough for Goins. Goins allowed the pressure, but Goins ran right by Swanigan there.
Look at the speed getting down the court. That's the way the Spartans want to play tonight. They want to beat Purdue down the court.
Hey, Goins was competing. Swanigan was chilling. Cool is for the club. You got to get down the court. Whether you score or turn it over, you got to get.
Spike Albrecht, the former Michigan Wolverine, now a fifth-year senior with Purdue. Flying from the corner, and he'll answer with a three.
Absolutely no reason for Aaron Harris to let him get a shot. Aaron Harris, the entire coaching staff, Dane Fife et al, were putting their hands up like, you've got to be there on Klein. That's the one thing Klein can do, and he does it as well as anybody.
42% from beyond the arc on the season. Purdue as a team is over 40%. Tough pass. Ellis leading Bridges too far. Winston out, Nairn back in for Michigan State. 11 on the shot clock. Wide open underneath. Somebody missed an assignment there.
Swanigan. It was a little double screen. Swanigan wasn't ready. He was straight up. He wasn't paying attention, and Goins just slipped it after the cut.
And Edwards foul, touch foul on Miles Bridges. How about this? Purdue has committed one foul in 12 minutes. Double team. Now Nairn backs off. Now it comes again at Swanigan. The kick to Klein. And there's where they can hurt you. They move the ball so well, and they got so many shooters.
Spike Albrecht's like 3 for 16 on the year from three. They feed the post. Nairn's the guy helping. He was guarding Spike. So Spike just moved over, and Ryan Klein filled for him. Sparty switched. Didn't get back to Klein. I think Nairn thought it was still Spike. Better shooter Klein knocked it out.
You know, these two teams are 1-2 in the country on assist percentage, meaning the percentage of their made baskets that come with an assist. Purdue is number 2 in the country. Michigan State's number 1, and they're both 9 for 10 pending that basket. 9 for 10 tonight.
Well, they don't have there's not one guy on either team that I would describe as selfish.
Michigan State looking for a big win. They're 12-8 on the season. Difficult start to the year. Always a crazy schedule for Tom Izzo. This year maybe even more so with the travel as well. They've lost to the likes of Arizona, Kentucky, Duke. They've lost 2 in a row right now. Lost to Ohio State, then Indiana in a game that you had in Bloomington Saturday. So they're 4-3 in the league. Purdue 5-2 in the league. Teams looking up at the likes of Maryland and Wisconsin atop the Big Ten. Bridges from deep in the corner.
I mean, we're talking Swanigan as an All-American, but Bridges tonight by far the most in tune to winning that I've seen him. He really reacted when Izzo got after him first shot of the game.
He's got 13 points already. Swanigan misses that jumper, and then a steal by Albrecht. Edwards wide open. And Michigan State fortunate not to give up any points on that sequence.
I thought Edwards settled right there. It's a shot most kids want to take, but man, you could have driven it, made something happen from about 10 feet. That would have been a huge bucket for Purdue.
14 minutes in, great pace. Spartans by 5. Here comes McQuaid. Gets it off. Hits it. 8-0 run. Michigan State is zone going bananas. Shot clock inside 10. It'll be Spike Albrecht. Spartans ball. Bridges. Couldn't finish it, and back comes Purdue. Carson Edwards, man, talk about a guy feeling it.
Talk about a guy that just lost his mind and made his coach crazy, and now he's going to come out.
Yeah, Dakota Mathias was summoned to the scorer's table after that shot. Those two events seem interrelated, don't you think? Another long stretch without a whistle. Of course, as soon as you say that, we'll have a whistle and a foul on Kenny Goins.
He cannot do that stepping on the floor. We saw it in an NBA game. But if you want to do that, that's great. But you cannot do that on the floor. And I think he's been on the floor a few times.
Here's Haas down low. And a foul is called. I think they called it before. I think Pat Driscoll called it before the shot, given who's in foul trouble in the group they've got on the floor right now.
And you have to assume with P.J. Thompson out there, this will be a much calmer Purdue offense where they will make certain the ball goes inside. We saw it the other day in the Knicks game. It was Sidney Lowe, I believe, for the Wizards against Courtney Lee. I think it was Courtney Lee left side. Sidney Lowe assisted, put his hands up, waved the thing, and yelled at him. That's ridiculous to me. Coaches need to sit down.
McQuaid's hit 1-3 tonight, not this time. And Klein the rebound. Purdue looking to make a run here near the end of the first half, given some of the foul trouble that the Spartans have. Swanigan went to the bench at the last whistle. Vince Edwards came back in. And look at the difference in size, and look at Van Dyke fighting his way around Haas to come up with a steal.
Hey, there's no reason you put the ball on the floor to post. We just throw it up, let Haas go get it.
Winston got it! Spectacular spinning finish by the freshman, Cassius Winston. Vince Edwards is fouled by Alvin Ellis. 3:29 to go. Be interesting to see if Kansas can handle Bam Adebayo inside. He's a beast down there.
And Lonzo Ball from UCLA are the two most dynamic freshman point guards I've seen in a long time. They've made passing cool.
Agreed.
They're electric to watch, those two.
Yeah. You can't take your eyes off either one of them when they're playing. Nice feed inside. Bridges from McQuaid.
Huge that McQuaid is playing well. Absolutely huge, because he's a kid that when he decides to be firing, he's really good. I thought he was too cool and a little bit intimidated in Bloomington on Saturday. Played very poorly. Great here. There you go. You got the
McQuaid takes it away, but it stays with Purdue.
McQuaid may have fouled him there, but that was a great play by McQuaid coming out from help side.
Swanigan back in, so Purdue goes even bigger. And again, with Michigan State in foul trouble, Ward and Goins both on the bench with 2. Swanigan knocks down a three-pointer.
Hey, Dan, the dude is 6'8", 260 pounds. He's been sitting on the bench, so what Painter run for him? A little double down screen, and he just lifted up and knocked it out.
First field goal in 5 minutes for the Boilermakers. They're back within 5.
That's a big bucket right there. It is a big 2.5 minutes. I always say last 2 minutes of a half, monstrous.
A little bit too much ball pressure. Of course, Kansas and Kentucky, the feature game from Rupp Arena. Bridges matched up with Swanigan. Winston keeping the dribble alive, finds Van Dyke underneath, kicks it out, turns it over. Klein has help. Mathias. Yes, tough left-handed lay-in for Dakota Mathias.
And that's not comfortable for Ryan Klein, but he was able to find Mathias, who's really good in traffic.
And P.J. Thompson just picked up another foul, so he picks up 2 very quickly, and that's going to take the starting point guard off the court for the last minute 57 of the half as Spike Albrecht checks back in.
Well, I don't think that hurts them all that much. I think that one thing that P.J. Thompson is very good at is getting the ball to the right people. Spike Albrecht the same. Spike just had a really tough shooting year. so far. He's been dealing with some injuries, hip injuries. Never, or to this point, hasn't found a shooting rhythm.
By the way, he'll be back in Ann Arbor for the Wolverines senior night. Purdue is at Michigan State. That's a pretty good day for a dad.
That's a great day for a dad. You kidding?
Enjoy that. That's fun. There's Albrecht. Of course, first, his original claim to fame was the great first half performance he had for the Wolverines in the national championship game against Louisville back as a freshman.
You know, you asked me before, why haven't they got it in the post? Langford did an unbelievable job of going high hands, not letting Matthias throw it in there.
Quarterfinal action from the Australian Open with Serena Williams in action tonight, and of course a look ahead to Super Bowl 51. That's the second foul on Matt Van Dyke, who again at 6'5", former walk-on, given everything he has and then some, and he's staying in the game because Ward's got 2, Goins got 2. Haas knocked down some free throws though. Purdue has whittled into this deficit, a 7-0 run, and it's a 1-point game.
Gonna be a little back screen, down screen, bad pass.
And again, using a lineup he probably never envisioned using in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the half because of the foul trouble. Haas back in as Purdue goes back on offense. High-low between the bigs, and not much you can do to defend that.
You know what happened? Haas stepped in early. He didn't wait until Swanigan get the ball. If you're a post guy out there, step in early, and then knowing that the play's going to be the play, then they can get the ball to you inside the lane. On occasion, he has, Haas, that is, some remarkably efficient games against Illinois recently. 24 points in 22 minutes. Shot clock at 4. Winston. Ellis gets it off in time, but doesn't draw iron, and it's Purdue ball. And you really don't want Michigan State to be able to set up something. You know you're going high-low with Swanigan feeding it down to Haas. Matt Painter just switched Haas and Swanigan, one of them on the opposite sides of the court. Shot clock turned off. Haas inside, fouled hard by Van Dyke. For Haas, where he is 4 for 4 tonight. 71% on the season. And Purdue, who had recruited him, got back in the fray, and now he's a really good player for the Boilermakers. First miss at the line tonight by the Boilermakers. Time for Michigan State. Bridges. Yes! Coast to coast, the freshman to end the half. If you said to Tom Izzo, Nick Ward's only going to play 6 minutes, you're not going to get an offensive rebound, and you're not going to shoot a single free throw in the first half, he would take a tie. But Purdue ended the first half on a 10-2 run, so some mixed emotions, no doubt, for Tom Izzo heading into the locker room. Carson Edwards misses the 3, and down with the rebound, Bridges. I believe the team that does not fall in love with the jump shot is going to win this game. I just think that there's no way Michigan State's going to shoot 7 for 12 this half, so they got to get something else. Transition, throwing it inside, and same with Purdue. They can't rely on Carson Edwards' 3 very often this half. Harris looking inside for Ward. Ward doesn't get the ball. Now Nair. Shot clock at 5. Somebody's got to create. Harris for 3. Got it. Took 29.5 seconds, but they got a good look, and Harris knocks it down. Yeah, Purdue played great defense, but you make one mistake in this league. They missed a switch, and Harris got his feet set and drilled it. Swanigan, he'll try to answer, and will as he knocks down another 3. Dan, you know why? They put him at the top of the key like you drew, and they made him a screener that time. He set an up screen, then he set another screen. Nick Ward helped, freed Swanigan. It doesn't need much time. And we're tied at 42 early in the second half. Harris, Matthias stays with him. Much improved defender, Dakota Matthias. Much improved player, just a confident kid as he's grown up in the Purdue program. Nairn on the drive and fouled on the floor.
talked about his background. If we go back a little bit further, you can read about it on ESPN.com today. Myron Metcalf with a terrific article. 360 pounds as an 8th grader before he got serious, started working out, changed his diet drastically, lost over 100 pounds. His mom raised 6 kids. They moved all over the place, spent some time in Indiana, then out to Utah. And Swanigan talks about this openly, spent some time in homeless shelters. His mom doing everything that she could to care for him. 18, 12, and 2. And the other 2 names, Tim Duncan and Blake Griffin. That's pretty good company.
Yeah, not bad.
But give a lot of credit to Swanigan, who came from extraordinarily difficult circumstances and has turned himself into a phenomenal player and a very good student in his sophomore year at Purdue.
Give a lot of credit to Roosevelt Barnes, a former Purdue player who adopted Swanigan and taught him about diet, taught him about conditioning. And he played basketball and football. Actually, he was a basketball player out of Fort Wayne. He ended up playing football for the Detroit Lions and had a pretty good career. And then he became an agent with the late Eugene Parker. And you know what he did? He did a great thing for Swanigan, and good for Swanigan for listening.
Ward over Swanigan to tie the game.
Yeah, that's a good matchup. That's a really good matchup because right now Swanigan is playing post defense like you play in high school, not the foul.
Ward's the guy who's got to be careful. He's got 2. By the way, P.J. Thompson's got on the bench with 3. Spike Albrecht back in. Purdue turns it over. Nairn. Bridges. Timeout, Purdue.
Yeah, he's been a real factor, and I think his defense has been pretty good, too. He's harassed the ball handler, whether it's Edwards now or Spike Albrecht or now Matthias. He's guarded 3 people in his possession.
Michigan State, 15 assists on 19 made buckets. Purdue, 14 on 15. Both teams really sharing the basketball. Swanigan follows his miss and puts it home.
Man, is the staff going crazy. Mike Garland at the end of the bench just jumped up because Swanigan knew he missed it, ran after it. Ward, 44, was going down the court. He's going to come out, Ward.
Swanigan averages over 18 and 12. He's already at 15 and 7 tonight. Ward working hard, but Swanigan comes up with a loose ball. Carson Edwards behind a screen from Swanigan. Baseline drive, nicely done.
Hey, it's smart by Carson Edwards. Remember first play of the second half, Carson Edwards took an ill-advised 3. He learned, he went to the rim, nobody there to stop him.
We mentioned Purdue's 10-0 when he's in double figures. He's in double figures tonight. See if the stat holds true. Ward double team and is fouled.
Did you do the game a few years ago when Kansas got beat by like 40
yes.
in the Champions
That was
Classic?
in the Champions, yep.
A couple of those guys are still back, right?
Yep.
Mason played in that one, a couple other guys.
Yeah, they played last year at Lawrence. They'll play this year in Lexington. Bridges having a big night, knocks down another one.
Inexcusable though, Dan. You got to know the game. You got to know if you're Edwards to close on his right hand, because I'm telling you, the star of this game is Miles Bridges.
Michigan State is 9 out of 15 on 3-pointers. Swanigan now defended by Goins. Ward did not come back on the floor after that last whistle. On the bench for a breather. Edwards partially blocked by Bridges. Saved by McQuaid into the hands of Nairn. Harris. Tap back out. That's exactly what I was thinking. Carson Edwards. Vince Edwards there to put it home.
Well, the thing you notice, as Goins has a bloody nose here at half court.
Northwestern had not won in Columbus since 1977. They'll have a chance to pick up some quality wins down the stretch. And one of your themes coming into this one was this is an opportunity for Michigan State to get a really important W.
And they only have 3 more against top 20 teams, top 25 teams.
Ellis, nice tap out to McQuaid. Knew exactly what he was doing, knew exactly where he was going with that. First offensive rebound of the game for the Spartans.
Shocking.
Nearly 6 minutes into the second half. Nairn going all the way around out to Bridges. Force this one up.
What a great block out by Matthias. That was a force. He had 9 seconds, Dan. He could have driven the basketball, found the next. I think it's a good move by Tom Izzo getting Nairn out of there because Nairn sticks him a little bit offensively. They can help off.
Haas out to Matthias, who buries the three.
Not even recruited. Played for a little AAU team, Northwest Ohio. We coached against him. He's a year behind the group I coach, and all he could do was make shots and be smart. And you've seen now, as he's gotten older, he is a tremendous Big Ten player.
47% from beyond the arc as a freshman, had mononucleosis, had vertigo, had surgery after his freshman season to relieve pressure in his sinus cavities, and a couple of years later, he's turned into a heck of a Big Ten player. Alvin Ellis, get it out of here. Bridges is fouled and will head to the free throw line.
Well, Matthias just went and doubled up again and took it out of his hands.
Michigan State's first free throw attempt of the entire night.
Nick Ward with McQuaid, who should be a shooter. Winston, who is a shooter slash penetrator. No blackout.
And Ward headed to the free throw line. For the NBA countdown charged by Mountain Dew.
Did you see on the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's 81, the Lakers got beat by more than they'd ever got beaten in their life?
Got beat by 49, I think it was, by Dallas. Ward working hard here on defense, tipped the pass out of bounds.
And when you go from your stars being Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol to Nick Young and D'Angelo Russell, that's going to happen to you. Wilt Chamberlain.
2-point lead Purdue in a very spirited affair tonight here in East Lansing. Haas over Bridges.
Bridges, this is going to sound really weird, Dan, but Bridges got out-quicked by Haas. Bridges was coiled to try to block that. He knew Haas was going, but Haas just turned to his left shoulder and got it up so quick, Bridges couldn't get there.
And a foul away from the ball going against Michigan State. That is Ward, and that is his third.
All right, so in this game, Goins has done the best job, I think, against Haas, and it's not a bad matchup on the perimeter with Miles Bridges taking on Swanigan. So this is not bad. Ward's not playing well, so get him out and let's get it figured out.
Goins is giving up 8 inches and 60 pounds in the matchup against Haas. Swanigan fumbles the pass, gets it back. Thompson probing. Got his man in the air and draws the foul on Ellis. Second in the country in assist-to-turnover ratio. In the country, behind only Monte Morris of Iowa State.
I'm telling you, Dan, he is one of those guys, again, that Purdue always made their bones with. Under-recruited. You know, maybe Ball State, maybe the MAC. Purdue took him, and now, as you said, you know, he's up there with the greats in college basketball doing things a point guard should do.
Swanigan with the offensive rebound off the missed free throw. Haas and Goins pushed him a fair bit off the block. Nice look. Thompson, corner three.
Man, oh man, how good was that by Haas? Because they decided Michigan State to double. I thought Goins had done a pretty good job, as you said, getting Haas out of the lane. They came to double. Haas just threw over it, no problem.
Winston. Jumper not there for Goins. And Purdue now 8 points up. Michigan State hasn't made a bucket in 3.5 minutes.
Interesting. This is what good coaches do. Goins missed that jump shot. You know what Izzo did? He's screaming at Nick Ward. Why? Because he's telling him, you're not playing well enough, so I got to play a walk-on that has some heart. He and Izzo and Ward are going back and forth tough on each other.
Scoop by Thompson. No, look at Haas. But then he gets called for the foul, dipping the shoulder into Matt McQuaid.
Michigan State's going to have to figure out something to keep the ball out of Swanigan and Haas's hands.
He may not get to 2020, but he's got 4 of those games this year. The rest of the country, Division I in its entirety, have 7. There have been 11 in the country this year, and he's got 4 of them.
You know, best thing ever happened to him was? Best thing ever happened to him was the NBA telling him you're not good enough.
Yep.
And you need to work on X, Y, and Z, and he's gone to work on it.
Yep. Whoa! You know what? You know what they're going to tell Miles Bridges at the end of the year? You're good enough.
Yeah. Here's a contract.
Yeah. Man, you can't teach that. That's a season high for the freshman, 25 points.
Don't be surprised if he doesn't end up with 35, because he's the guy going right now and the only guy going for Michigan State.
Haas and Goins called for the foul.
Hey, you might want to put a body on this guy. What do you think, Dan? And Miles Bridges doesn't fall in this category, but these freshmen have made their team so much better, and they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like, you know, passing has become cool. Kamar Baldwin at Butler has been unbelievable, along with Lonzo Ball, along with TJ Leaf, along with De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk.
Josh Jackson at Kansas.
Hey, not bad.
We'll see him in the Sonic Blockbuster against Kentucky Saturday. Man, oh man. And Bridges comes up with the ball. He's working it at both ends.
Yes, he is.
All the way. Got it. I just want to make sure you're having fun tonight.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, Michigan State, we worry about them being a tournament team. He plays like that, Bridges. They're a tournament team, and they can beat anybody. It's a big, big deal for Michigan State.
Swanigan asking for it. Bridges guarding him. Got him in the air and draws the foul.
Hey, Bridges was tired after the coast-to-coast, after the dunk, and kind of gave up on the post, and Swanigan just abused him. You have nothing to do. You go to class, take a nap. I don't care. But we need you for 9:13. Then take a nap.
Yep. And now the assignments just changed. With Haas going out, you got to believe Goins will be on Swanigan. Bridges will switch on to Vince Edwards. Different kind of matchup.
No question about it, but they'll still go to Swanigan.
Yeah.
Goins has done a really good job, I think, Dan. You're not going to see anything in the book. He's got some fouls, but he has battled. He's made it tough.
Bridges and an offensive foul. Goins just picked up his 4th foul on an illegal screen. So Ward back in. Edwards using a sizable screen from Swanigan. Can't take advantage. Swanigan isolated on Bridges. Help from Ellis. Turnaround jumper, got it. How good is that?
Hey, how about a little Nowitzki right there, right? Man, he got everybody out of the way. They were going to try to double team off Carson Edwards. Swanigan moved Edwards out of the way, which took the defense with him. Wow.
And it's back to an 8-point lead for Purdue. Ward, tough catch and finish.
I love Cassius Winston in this game. I do. I think offensively he finds people. That was a terrific catch, as you said, but a better pass. Cassius Winston put it right where it needed to be.
Again, the one-on-one matchup. Swanigan just too strong.
Hey, how's that not a foul? I mean, he wrapped up Swanigan. Swanigan played through the 270-pound Ward.
Winston can't finish, but there's a foul.
Put 10 more minutes on. Let's go 17:50. This is too much fun.
Tom Izzo always has great rebounding teams, but again, this is a small bunch. The injuries. Purdue's turned 10 offensive rebounds into 12 points. Both teams shoot great from 3. Purdue 9 for 18, Michigan State 9 for 19.
I'll say one other thing. On the defensive end, I would double Swanigan. I would take Carson Edwards' man, and I would double. And I'd make Carson Edwards either have to make threes or have to drive it into big people.
Let's go to Molly.
Dan, also, as Dan said, defensively, Michigan State wants to pressure Purdue's 2 post feeders. He said Matthias and Klein, they make that extra dribble. They don't want them to be able to pass it. As far as their offense goes, it all goes through Miles Bridges.
All right, Molly, thank you. The Izzone trying to give the Spartans some help. Ball's loose on the deck. It stays with Purdue.
Gene Steratore has the coolest walk in college basketball, so we won't.
He does.
We won't dispute him.
NFL referee, Big Ten official. Pretty good gig.
Yeah, he's a Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Good call.
Swanigan called for the foul. Second on Swanigan. 6-point lead, Purdue. Ward deep position. Swanigan reaches around, tips it away. Ward doing a good job trying to push Swanigan further off the lane. which is no easy task.
No.
Edwards to the bucket. And we're going against Purdue again. I think the conversation here is, was that a common foul or an offensive foul? I may be wrong, but will this foul send Michigan State to the line? So Bridges, who's having a heck of a night, 27 points, 62% free throw shooter. This is 1-1. Michigan State as a team, as you well know, at the beginning of the year, dismal at the free throw line. They're starting to get better bit by bit. It's a very, as we've mentioned, a very different kind of a Michigan State team as Bridges makes both of them. They can't just go to the glass and bludgeon you that way. They got to run. They got to make free throws. Right now, they got to play some D. Edwards the drive, and a foul on Bridges. Neither he nor his coach pleased at all. Number 3 on Bridges.
Yeah, I really believe for Michigan State to win this game, they can't foul. I think it feels like, anyway, that they have a handle right now on Purdue's offense. You can get hot defensively, and I think Michigan State feels really good about where they're at defensively. So you can't foul and bail them out.
Purdue's also an excellent free throw shooting team. Harris, Matthias got him on the hand, and 2 free throws coming for Aaron Harris.
He's a kid out of Indianapolis, not really highly recruited, and played on an AAU team with a bunch of really good players. Bob Huggins and his staff saw him, gave him a scholarship, and I think he got tired of Huggins, and I know Huggins got tired of him, so he transferred.
And that snaps a streak of 23 consecutive made free throws for Harris. And a Michigan State foul. Ward thought he poked it away from behind, but he gets called for the foul. Is that number 4? It is number 4 on Nick Ward. No sub coming. Ward is going to stay. Made them both.
I think it's a little bit the same thing with Purdue. You can't foul. You just can't bail anybody out. Points have been a little bit tough because both teams have settled in defensively. And now, with 6 minutes to go, you know what? He's going to let him sink or swim, and he's the most important guy on the court right now.
He's got 4 fouls. Just picked up his 4th. Less than a minute to go down at the other end of the court.
That was as unorganized as you're ever going to see Michigan State out of a timeout. Ward looked like he had no idea what had been said in the huddle.
And they're still trying to figure it out. Winston puts the brakes on, but he needs some help. Going to try to do it himself, but he gets called for an offensive foul, hooking his way around the defender.
Still, he was going to get him out anyway because they're going offense, defense. Goins in now.
Well, the freshman's really good, and he's had a really good year, but he's getting some lessons and lectures tonight from his Hall of Fame coach. So Goins back in for him.
And you know what? He doesn't seem to be the worse for wear. He's surviving it, all you youngsters out there. If you get yelled at, it's not the end of the world.
Harris into Goins.
That's what you can't do. You have Goins under the basket. Edwards is there. Haas is there. That's what I'm talking about, Dan. You just don't reach in. You make a guy make a shot that he really can't make. Our crack producer, Bart Fox, says he's got a little Will Smith look to him from the movie Ali. So if you got to look like someone, I'll take looking like Will Smith as opposed to
you or me.
As opposed to me. I was going to say you and me. Don't be surprised if you don't see one of these two guys freed up for a 3 with the help in the post coming.
Ten to shoot. Haas. And he turned it over on a travel.
Breaking a board is so overrated by people. You know, boards are easy.
Wow. What kind of a night is this kid having? 32. And guarding Swanigan at this end of the floor. Matthias can really shoot it. A little bit strong. Offensive rebound, Swanigan. Matthias will get another chance and bury it.
What a great play by P.J. Thompson and Swanigan. Swanigan hustled the rebound, didn't force it against Aaron Harris. Next thing you know, Thompson found the most open guy, the best shooter in the building, Matthias.
Winston nowhere to go. The game clock has stopped. They're going to play on to the next whistle, but the game clock is frozen right now.
They don't know it.
No.
I don't think the refs know it.
Well, at the next whistle, they'll go to the under 4, and then they'll have, now the clock has started. They'll have to figure out how much time should have come off the clock, but didn't. Thompson from the corner, a big one for Purdue.
I told you, Dan, you could just tell the way Michigan State was playing. Their help from the perimeter guys were going to have a chance to shoot threes.
And a timeout on the floor. Yeah.
I thought it was like 20 seconds. It, you know.
And the clock, of course, is Purdue's ally right now. Bridges, and he is fouled.
You know, a lot of people felt like Swanigan was going to be an injured player because of his body type. But I tell you what, his conditioning, the training staff, Chad Young, the weight coaches have done a great job, and nobody works harder than Swanigan.
Kenny Goins just picked up his 5th.
You know, he went toe-to-toe, didn't give an inch, just not quite big enough. He's going to have to be an offensive player, but where defensively, he's going to have to show his hands and play with his lower body.
And Purdue keeps stretching out this lead. A very close game for most of the night, but this is now the largest lead of the game for either team. Winston to the bucket.
You got to play without fouling here. If you're not going to foul initially or do anything like that, you can trap it. You've got to show your hands. Don't put Purdue at the foul line.
2-man game, and the lay-in for Edwards on the feed from Swanigan.
Well, that's an older guy taking advantage of Bridges because that's just a little curl off of the ball. Bridges turned his head. Swanigan recognized it, threw it right over his shoulder. That's what we're talking about. Dan, good players play in the middle of the floor really well, and Swanigan is tremendous in the middle of the floor, passing, shooting, driving.
Ellis rattles home a much-needed 3, and Tom Izzo will use another timeout. That's his last one. A slip, and it's turned over to Michigan State. Huge possession here for the Spartans. Ellis the drive.
How about that rebound? How about that rebound by Matthias? Just the guy that does everything for Purdue.
Inside 2 minutes. Purdue with the lead and the ball. They can milk the clock a little bit if they want to. Will Swanigan get a touch? Remember, Ward's got 4. Wow, Ward just got the business end of an elbow or a forearm from Swanigan, and it went unnoticed. And Ward sticking with it, playing some defense.
Good for Ward. That was a show of real toughness there.
Winston narrows the gap. And a Michigan State foul. He got him.
What,
he got him
hard.
You know, if they look at that, I mean, that could be a flagrant 1 if they look at that.
It could be.
Yeah, that's a break for Purdue.
And an incredibly well officiated game. They let him go up and down. He threw that elbow intentionally, but Swanigan didn't throw that intentionally. He was stepping around to get position.
Yeah. Still, the way the game is officiated, had it been noticed, easily could have been a flagrant 1. Not a flagrant 2, but a flagrant 1. Look at this move by Bridges. Can't finish. And Swanigan with yet another rebound, but he stepped out of bounds. Momentum carried him out of bounds. Bridges. Ooh, in and out, and Swanigan the rebound. And Bridges is running back down on decent. Oh, man, I thought that one was going in. And the way he's played tonight, you can't blame him. So they got to watch the physical play, feet out of bounds. Well, ACC really interesting, of course. North Carolina, tremendous talent. Louisville putting a world of hurt on Pittsburgh tonight. They're up at the top of the league.
I talked to Mark Godfrey today. He said, yeah, we had a great win. Now we're going to Louisville.
Hang with them. Aaron Harris around and out. Well, Michigan State shot the three so well for most of the night. But, and you said it earlier in the game, I mean, it was just unrealistic to expect them to keep up the pace.
Executed incredibly well. And this kid at the free throw line right here, P.J. Thompson, is a big part of that, Dan. He may not be the best point guard in the league. There's a lot of good ones. But this kid right here directs, organizes, and leads his team as well as anybody.
It's a big road win for Purdue that will get them to 6-2 in league play. They've shot their free throws great tonight. And Caleb Swanigan coming back to Michigan State, the school he originally committed to before changing his mind and winding up at Purdue. What's he done tonight? 25 points and 17 rebounds.
What he's done is shut everybody in the building up and make them lead with a minute to go is what he's done. And
he might dribble out the clock, and how satisfying is that for him? What a night. You want to talk about a guy working hard. Caleb Swanigan working hard tonight. Miles Bridges sensational for Michigan State. Purdue with a big road win.